The real reason Jon Snow was banished north. Snow reveals all. What if I told you that Jon Snow's banishment to the Night's Watch wasn't just about killing Daenerys Targaryen? What if the real reason runs so much deeper than political necessity, spinning a web of ancient prophecies, broken oaths, and a secret so dangerous that even the most powerful lords of Westeros had to erase him from history? Buckle up, because this rabbit hole goes straight through the wall and beyond. Before we dive into the madness, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because trust me, you do not want to miss what is coming next on Westeros' throne. We are about to unravel mysteries that even the three-eyed raven kept locked away. So let us set the stage. The year is 305 after Aegon's conquest. King's Landing is still smoking from dragon fire. Daenerys Targaryen is dead by Jon Snow's hand, and everyone is scrambling to pick up the pieces of a shattered realm. The Great Council convenes, and what do they decide? Jon Snow, the man who literally saved humanity from an icy apocalypse, gets shipped north to the Night's Watch. Again, because apparently, dying once for the realm was not enough of a punishment. Now, the official story is simple enough. Grey Worm and the Unsullied demanded justice for their queen. Tyrion Lannister played political chess to avoid another war. Sansa Stark secured northern independence. Bran Stark became king because he had the best story, which honestly still sounds wild when you say it out loud. And Jon? Poor Jon gets to wear black and freeze his noble behind off beyond the wall for the rest of his days. Case closed, right? Wrong. So incredibly wrong. Here is where things get interesting. The Night's Watch technically does not exist anymore. The White Walkers are gone. The army of the dead is permanently dead. The wall itself is partially destroyed. So what exactly is Jon watching for? Rogue polar bears? Overly aggressive elk? The truth is, his banishment was never about the Night's Watch. It was about getting Jon Snow as far away from the Iron Throne as humanly possible, and not just for the reasons everyone thinks. Let us talk about what Jon Snow actually is. He is not just some brooding pretty boy with excellent hair and a tendency to know nothing. He is Aegon Targaryen, the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne, son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. His very existence threatens every power structure in Westeros. Think about it. Bran cannot walk, but somehow he is king. Sansa is ruling an independent north. Tyrion is hand of the king despite betraying basically everyone at some point. Arya is off discovering what is west of Westeros, probably finding new and creative ways to stab things. And Jon? Jon is the one person whose claim to the throne is so legitimate, so unquestionably valid, that his mere presence in King's Landing would destabilize everything. But here is the twist that changes everything. Recent revelations suggest that Jon's banishment was not just political theater. There's an ancient Targaryen prophecy that nobody talks about. Not the prince that was promised. Not Azor Ahai. Something older. Something that predates even Aegon's conquest. A prophecy that speaks of a king who would unite ice and fire, but whose reign would bring about the end of the wheel Daenerys loved to talk about breaking. The prophecy warns that this king must never sit the Iron Throne, or the entire realm would transform in ways that the old powers could never control. Sound familiar? Jon Snow is literally ice and fire. Stark and Targaryen. Winter and dragon. He killed the Night King, ending the threat from the north. He killed Daenerys, ending the threat from the east. He is the balance, the reset button, and that terrifies everyone in power, because balance means change, and change means the lords and ladies who have been playing the game for centuries might actually lose. Now let us connect some dots that the show conveniently glossed over. Bran Stark can see everything across time. Everything. Past, present, and glimpses of the future. You think it is a coincidence that he sat quietly during that council, barely arguing for Jon's release? Bran knew. He saw the prophecy. He understood that Jon Snow near the seat of power would fundamentally alter the nature of Westeros itself, not through conquest or cruelty, but through the sheer weight of who he is and what he represents. Tyrion Lannister, clever as ever, likely figured this out too. His entire speech about Bran having the best story was not just flowery rhetoric. It was strategic brilliance. Put the king on the throne who literally cannot have children, cannot produce heirs, and whose power comes from knowledge rather than dragons or armies. Meanwhile, send Jon Snow so far north that his bloodline becomes irrelevant, absorbed into the free folk, lost beyond the edge of the map where prophecies go to die. And Sansa? Do not even get me started on Sansa. She learned from the best manipulators in Westeros. Littlefinger, Cersei. She knew exactly what she was doing when she pushed for northern independence and supported Jon's banishment. With Jon gone, there is no one to challenge her rule in the north. No one to remind people that technically, Jon Snow has as much Stark blood as she does, with the added bonus of being the greatest military commander of their generation. Sansa played the game, and she played it perfectly. But here is what nobody expected. The upcoming series that everyone is buzzing about, the one following Jon's story Beyond the Wall, is not just another adventure tale. It is reportedly going to reveal the true nature of the lands beyond the wall, ancient magic that still exists up there, and why Jon Snow was not just banished, but actually needed in the north. Because apparently, killing the Night King did not actually solve everything. Shocking, I know. There are whispers of old gods, older than the children of the forest. Magic that predates the first men. Threats that make the White Walkers look like a warm-up act. And who better to face them than the man who has already died and come back, who is dragon blood and wolf spirit, who commands respect from both the living and apparently has a track record with defeating the undead. The real genius of Jon's banishment is that everyone got what they wanted. The Unsullied got justice. Tyrion avoided war. Bran got the throne. Sansa got her kingdom. And Jon got exactly what he always wanted, but never admitted. Freedom. No throne. No crown. No politics. Just the wild, the free folk and Ghost. Finally, someone remembered Ghost exists. But make no mistake, this was not mercy. This was calculated exile. Jon Snow represents something that the New Order cannot allow to exist within the realm. Hope. Unity. A genuine alternative to the political machinery that keeps grinding people to dust. They had to send him away because letting him stay would mean confronting the possibility that maybe, just maybe, the prophecy is clear to those who know where to look. The King of Ice and Fire must guard the realms of men from beyond the borders of men. Not from a throne, not from a castle, but from the edge of the world, where the old magic still breathes and the real threats to humanity lurk in the endless white. Jon Snow was not banished. He was positioned, placed exactly where the ancient forces knew he needed to be for what comes next. Thank you so much for watching Westeros Throne. The game continues, and so does our journey through it.